All right, here we go. I'm Pat.
Hey, I'm Jeffrey.
We're back.
Yep,
Back in,
back from Thunder Zone.
yes, in the 40-degree weather. Actually, it's not that cold, is it?
It's close.
Did your furnace kick on?
No,
Oh, mine did.
it didn't, and I was actually surprised by that because
Where you going, dog?
for most of the day, I
Come on out.
I think she does. We had all of our windows open, so I'm surprised it didn't actually kick over. But you know what? I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna sleep good tonight. I slept great last night. So
As did I
Oh my
today.
gosh, mighty leap right over into the easy chair. No, it's
Yeah,
my favorite time
yeah.
of year, man, where it's kind of warm during the day, but then it gets nice and cold at night.
Yep,
So it is the best.
yep.
So especially for sleeping.
I agree completely. And since I'm the last of you guys that doesn't have full temperature controls for the entire year, this is particularly relieving.
This is the time of year to go get one, though, man. So if you wait about a month, man, that's when they all go on sale. So
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's also, this is not a good time to do like construction and stuff.
They don't do any construction for that.
Yes, they do.
For an air conditioner?
Yeah, they have to pour. A lot of times they have to make that like concrete
Oh
like,
man,
platform and stuff.
Yeah, that they can do that as long as it's not below freezing
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
raining,
or raining. Yeah.
which it has been doing a lot. Sort of.
that's true. It was raining pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, that's why my dog came back soaked. That's
She
So I
probably
know it was
unsoaked
raining.
herself here in your
Yeah.
fucking laundry room.
yeah. Well, no, I didn't send her in there. It's like you hang out in there until you dry off. No, it's
Right.
she comes running in. You go ahead and towel her off, and that's how it goes.
Oh, she doesn't do the shaky shake before you get a towel around her.
She does the shaky shake outside. She's
okay.
it's not the bathroom. And if she came back and she was so soaked, then yeah, we go straight to the shower.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Even she doesn't object to that. There's been one time, and she does not like being bathed. But there was one time that she came inside and she just like gave me one glance and then went straight upstairs to the bathroom, into the
she
shower,
soaked in
which she
mud?
never goes. No, she was just cold.
Oh, okay.
She was soaked to the bone and she was cold, and she was just letting me know it's like, hey, this has got to happen.
It's got to happen.
I'll
Turn the hot
never-
water on. I'll run
I'll-
around in it myself.
Yeah, I'll never ask you for this, but can we go ahead and do this? I'm like, yeah, dog, it's totally fine. I would do the same.
Yeah, my cats have never asked for a bath.
Probably not.
I have never bathed my cats.
I was going to
actually.
ask you that, yeah.
Yeah, they've never needed it. So maybe when they get older, you never know.
I don't know. I don't remember the frequency of washing my cats. It's been decades.
It depends
since
on
I've
the
had
cat,
one of them.
man.
Yeah.
So like Shadow, we had to bathe her occasionally because she get poop stuck in her. So
There you go. Yeah.
because she was just a little dust mop.
Yeah. Well, did you kind of like...
But that was when she was older. So
Well, it was when she was older, and I presume, like, as a result, you probably, I don't know, you probably kind of, like, groom the area around her anus to make it less...
oh, we shaved her.
Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
we'd shave her belly and her butt.
There you go.
So yeah, especially during the summer, she appreciated that though. So
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I can, because Will's dog is as hairy as that cat was.
oh, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Will's dog leaves a trail.
Will's dog leaves a trail and has temperature control methods where, seeing pictures of it, if it's too hot in the winter, she will just go outside and sit in the snow.
Oh, really?
Oh yes.
Oh, well, she is a husky, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've seen that. I've seen like those YouTube videos of people like waking up in the morning and finding their dog under 2 feet of snow. So and then
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the inevitable, like, terrible comments. Look, let your fucking dog in, kind of thing. And it's like, he went out there on his own.
Right. This is
Yeah.
fucking animals will let you know if they want to come inside. I don't know about well cats. Cats are maybe a little bit different. If they get outside and they want to come in.
Yeah, I mean, I've had one outdoor cat. She would just sit at the door.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. And I mean, you just check for her before you went to bed.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So.
Dogs pretty much, I mean, when they want to come in, they have tools of ways of letting you know.
Right.
I have, so this was, I feel like I've inadvertently gotten in on the sort of ring drama that you...
How'd you get into that?
Okay, so there are some projects, like I was talking about this with the vets, where kids don't like come around to do projects. We were talking about basically like yard projects that needed doing, right?
Oh yeah, kids don't come around and volunteer for that shit no more.
Well, and we were recalling what we were doing was we were kind of taking a walk down memory lane and remembering each of us doing these things for neighbors and what we got paid for.
Yeah.
Right? And so we were kind of recalling that, and I was like, there are just no kids to do this. I would happily, give a couple of 20s, for what I used to do. And my vet, she recommended, she's like, well, you can find people to do this. I'm like, where? She's like, go on the Nextdoor app.
Yeah, you can.
The Nextdoor app is... I don't even know how to describe it. This is...
My mom uses it. Well, actually, her HOA uses it. It's insufferable. So...
Oh, why is it insufferable?
It's just the cattiest place next to Twitter. So, yeah.
But it's local.
It's local.
That's
who's
kind of...
tweeting,
Exactly,
yes.
yeah. That's...
So, yeah.
I realized how quickly I do not belong in this online community. And immediately, like, when I signed up, people immediately started, like, reaching... I'm like...
What did they want?
It's like, hi, and welcome, and it's like...
Delete.
I'm not responding.
I'm going to block you.
And then, so I thought I silenced it, and what it does is it has this insipid way of... it'll pop up notifications every now and then say, like, here's what you have missed.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all right. Instead of bothering me every 10 seconds. And it's all the same... thing. It's all the same.
Oh, I found your cat. Oh, I'm missing my cat. Yeah. So, like, suspicious guys in the neighborhood.
That's it. Yeah, it's always like suspicious guys in the neighborhood, and what they do is
teenagers checking cars.
That's that, and what they'll do is they'll post videos of like, they'll post like meme videos of like people like checking houses and then getting like into scuffles with like the owner, so it's like take that.
Locally?
No.
Oh, you mean on like YouTube?
Well, yeah. So they'll post videos on there of like, so it'll be like, I saw this dude like checking cars or checking houses or whatever, and then they'll post a meme video of like, here's what I hope happens to the guy.
Oh right, yeah.
Right. And I have no place in this. I hate this.
I can't stand.
I don't like snitch communities. I just don't.
Every community is a snitch community. If it has one Ring camera in it, they will find the other 5 people who have one.
I don't like it.
So, and they will absolutely snitch you out. And then, of course, if you sign up for Ring, the police get automatic access to your Ring camera.
Fantastic.
So, yeah. Now, just your doorbell one. My understanding is they can't look on the inside ones if you have any of those. But if you have any external surveillance cameras, part of the Ring app agreement is that you agree that it's okay that Amazon shares that with local law enforcement.
Not in a million billion years would I ever submit to that.
Oh, I don't really care. I've only got one. It points out to the neighborhood kids, and if they get in trouble, yeah, I want them to get fucking busted. So... But no, nobody knew that in the beginning, and then it started coming out with like various cases and stuff like that. I mean, it does help when they have like missing persons and shit. So, because they've caught like grandmas, who have Alzheimer's walking in front of somebody's Ring camera, so they'd be able to go get her.
Absolutely.
So on the same thing, like mine, like every day, and I don't check it every day, but Ring does the same thing. So we're just like at random intervals, it'll be like, hey, if someone rings your doorbell, of course. So, but sometimes you'll just say, "Hey, this is what's going on in your neighborhood." I'm like, I turned your fucking apps off, your notifications off, and you're still pushing one through every now and then. What the fuck? So,
Well, and how many people know that Ring is when they sign that, when they set it up? How many people know that this is basically shared information with the police?
probably not as many as more now than it used to be. That's for sure. So,
Right.
but yeah,
Right.
there actually is a. So I set my mom's one up again a little while ago, and there's actually a thing in there where it says, and you got to click on that.
Right.
You can't
Right.
turn it off. So it'd be like, yes, like it's part of this agreement. It asks you like 3 questions. Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? If you click no on any of them, okay, you're not using our app. So, which means that camera you just bought is useless. So,
You can't even use the camera.
no,
That's ridiculous.
you got to have the app, man.
That is so shitty.
I know, man.
Fuck that.
So, but it's been like that ever since. That company actually is one of the ones that made it on a Shark Tank. So, and Mark Cuban turned them down.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. So
For what reason?
I can't remember. Like, I don't think the guy was willing to give up a big enough ownership stake or something like that. Or maybe it was that. Excuse me. I think Mark Cuban wanted something that was like exclusive. So, but it wasn't originally called Ring, and then so like apparently he kept shopping that around, and then Amazon was his buyer. So, and they changed the name to Ring from whatever it was. I saw this thing the other day on this one. It was the biggest one that Mark Cuban ever let get away. So,
Yeah, I don't like him.
you don't like Mark Cuban?
He's a super puss. He's that dude's kind of let his ass show in the past few months at least. He's very much on the supply side of not supply side, but the side of like pro censorship, and I don't like that one bit. Fuck him.
Yeah, I don't know that much about him. I know that so he basically bought the Mavs, and then he doesn't really do anything anymore now. So, he's got all these little mini businesses out there, but, he's one of these guys. He made his billions, and he's like, I'm good. So,
Well, no, he's not good, because if he was good, he wouldn't be on Shark Tank. He wouldn't be...
Is he still on Shark Tank? Is it still going?
I believe this is his last season.
I thought they pulled the pin on it. Okay.
Dude, TV is in such a pathetic spot. So if you have anything that is essentially like guaranteed you numbers, even if those numbers are falling off, they're not going to ditch you. They do not want to take risks on. So, they'll go ahead and shake up the cast a little bit, maybe. But I guess this is his last season on there. Oh, okay. And yeah, he talks a lot of shit.
I don't know that much about him. I know he's one of the original PayPal guys. So, and then, what is it? He had another business in between that and whatever it is he does now. I can't remember what it was. Would have been like stamps.com or something I don't know. So
that wouldn't surprise me. And, there's nothing wrong with an enterprise like that, nor is there anything, wrong with, I think more so at this point, his enterprise is being Mark Cuban. That's that's fine. There are plenty of people who their enterprise is just being that person.
No, he's definitely does that. Yeah, but he's older than I thought he was too. So
he looks good for his age.
He does look good.
I got to
give
him credit for that.
Yeah, but he's definitely one of the older guys of that group. So, and I didn't know that until a little while ago. I can't remember how that came up. I was talking to somebody about that.
I can't help you with that. I don't know.
It wasn't here.
What situation where that
I don't know what
up,
it was either.
Can I presume that of that group, is Kevin O'Leary probably the oldest guy? He looks it.
He probably is. Is he still on the show?
Yeah, I think so.
Mr. Wonderful. So,
yeah.
Man, that guy shows up on LinkedIn with the worst fucking management advice. So, yeah.
Like what?
I don't know, man. He's just a classic boomer dad, on that stuff.
Okay.
Right. It's kind of like, all right, man, tone it down a little bit. I mean, whatever.
Does he come in there basically with some no duh kind of?
Very much so.
Yeah, all right,
yeah,
that I got. So that's why it's
Yeah.
not specific. It's just that same stupid shit of You ever consider waking up 10 minutes earlier?
It's exactly what that is. Yeah, exactly. So, have you tried counting sheep?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I see him pop up every now and then, man. Or maybe it's even just on the Google News. I have not been watching the news much this week, man. My news app is absolutely busted. So.
Well, all right. So when you say busted, is it busted or did you break it?
I don't know if I broke it or not. So.
Because sometimes if your head's in the wrong place, it does not hurt to just pull open any panel and throw a fucking 7/16 wrench into it and just say, "I need my head needs fixing. I need to break the machine."
To my Google account, though, man. Yeah. So.
That was one of the controversies a couple of weeks ago. Was demonetization from YouTube. Did you see this? I'm trying to remember. It's one of the big like tech guys. He had one of his. There's a movement out there, basically how to. It's about de-googling your life, right? How can you?
Google wears us all like a sock puppet. So yeah.
Yeah. So it was like so. It was about how do you separate yourself from this entity, but not at the cost of making your life miserable, right? So here are ways to basically push yourself. These things all do this equally well, and here's how you make this push. And this was a huge, I don't remember which one it is. I could tell you if I saw it, but YouTube demonetized it for obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah, it's bad business, man.
Now, that being said,
Dude,
I don't think there's anything in their TOS that says you can't do this.
They don't care, man. They make it up as they go. So, look, man, I'm tired of people bitching about YouTube deplatforming and stuff like that. It's a fucking business, man. It should be like just blatantly apparent what they do now because of how picky they are about certain things and completely permissive of others.
Right.
So, like...
That would be the Twitch model, too, yes.
Well, yeah, but Twitch is much more the land of, like, fucking... What are those Morlocks and what? So,
oh, God.
Bait.
Right,
yeah,
right.
I mean,
yeah.
It's awful. So, but like Google, I mean, half the guys that I watch have been demonetized and they don't give a fuck. So, you know, because that's where eyeballs are. The actual revenue-based model, I mean, it's only a matter of time before they start banning, like, in-fucking stream ads. So, where you turn around and like, oh, let's talk about Axe body spray. They'll be like, no, you're demonetized. So, and this one's off.
Yeah, you're probably
right.
It's
only a matter of time before they do that.
Yeah.
That one's coming next, man, because that's the meta now, and everybody's doing that. So,
absolutely, yeah.
But that just means you're going to get ban-hammered on it, man. So, I mean, every time that people try and make a living off YouTube, they find a way to snuff it out. So, it's not use YouTube or TikTok or whatever to drive other people to other money-making things.
Right.
So, and eventually they're going to shut that valve off somehow. So...
Well, because the whole purpose of this essentially is to, so the moving on this, yes, of course, there's the personal, I call it like the Winston cigarette ads of like YouTubing.
Yeah,
where,
totally do.
That's basically.
Hey,
yeah, exactly.
Break.
Yeah, exactly. you take a break in the action to talk about a product that you endorse because those are the stipulations of what you sign there because they have these things where they say this has to appear within the first 12% of the ad of the show and then the last 12% and then you have to give a personal endorsement because I know you fucking people aren't all sleeping on those mattresses. Don't lie to me.
No, you're not all using Surfshark. So.
Yeah. Don't fucking lie to me, but I know. I get you. That's the rules of what they're doing, right?
NordVPN.
Yes.
Ground news. Get your news from us. It's like everything, man. Lately, it's just like, okay. It's only a matter of time before YouTube will ban that word, where you can't hear the word manscaped without your shit being fucking, not just demonetized. Well, see, here's what happens when you get demonetized. All right, so what it means is that the algorithm basically nerfs you to to your public audience only. So what that means is that your subscribers will be able to see it, okay?
But you're not going to get a push.
You're not going to get a push, and anybody who's even remotely tied to an account who's under 18 will never see your shit.
Right.
And so, that's why, like, you see the people who are still trying to make a living off this shit, they're very careful about what they say, and, they've learned all the little tricks and stuff like that.
That's why it plays a fart sound anytime somebody talks about permanent self-harm.
Yeah, or it's just, and they black out the mouth and all kinds of different things. Yeah. You can't do that anymore because it's not that, like, I'm making this content for people who are under the age of 18, but that's the only way the algorithm actually pushes you out, is you gotta have that button click that says, yes, it's okay for kids. Because if you do not have that click, it will not push your shit. So...
Right.
And so, but now it's gotten to the point in time where, like, so the model was for a while, okay, get 1 million subscribers, okay, and then, do your CPMs or whatever it is, and that way you can outrun, the demonetization thing, because you still get paid for those ads.
Right.
Okay, but it's not going to push you out, so you're going to get about a 100th of the views. But if you have 1 million subscribers, great.
Doesn't matter because the advertisers come to you based off your subscriber count. That's what they're...
It does, but the other thing is like then they started that. This was the model like 4 years ago, and now it's changed again. So because they're like, well, there's a lot of people who are and they figured that out. This is a fucking shitload of armies of bots out there, who are basically racking up views, pushing your view count up, so they changed it over to like, well, okay, what's the average view duration?
Oh,
and so that's when you started seeing people put up like 2 fucking hour-long things, okay? Because that was the trick, okay? So if you could get, 100 people to watch all 2 hours of it, that was worth more than 1,000 people who watched like 10 seconds of it.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
So then that stopped working. And so they tried monetizing shorts, and that didn't work. So here's the thing. Every time YouTube changes something, somebody figures out real quick how to make money off of it.
Right.
So, but within 6 months or a year, everybody else is doing that, and so YouTube figures out a way to nerf it. So, because ultimately they don't want to pay people out to watch shit. So they want you to create...
Which is bizarre, yeah.
No, they don't want to fucking pay. I wouldn't pay you. So
why not?
Because I got 1 million of you on here, man. I'm not going to pay people to actually produce content for me. So if I got 1 million people here, you come to me and go monetize your house somewhere. So
that's what I'm saying.
I got to keep the money then.
Well, okay. The only thing that's working for them is basically they control the means of production. I hate to make
make it. Yes, I know. They control all the means of production. Yes.
I don't mean to invoke Marx in this here, but it really is. If they had one heavy hitter competitor, life would change drastically.
It would be very, very different, and that's why we used to have 3 TV stations, Jeff. So right. Now we have one great big one.
Yes.
And we deserve it because that's what we asked for.
You're not wrong. It's funny that. Within that regard, yes, you're absolutely correct in the sense that getting down to one network essentially
has actually pick the videos. Yes, exactly.
Well, you can pick the videos.
What we've been asking for 20 years.
But what's funny is the hindsight is also true, or not the hindsight, but the opposite is true here, where the content has become more restrictive.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
So that's because like they don't like to lose money. So
correct. And it seems like the only way around it, like you said, is advertisers, which will eventually, like you said, probably be phased out some way or another, which is ridiculous. But the other thing is that people basically use that as a platform to get you to sign on for their Patreon welfare, right?
Yeah, my understanding is Patreon's actually dying though. So because they were absolutely skull fucking people. So
Patreon is welcome to die. I don't.
Yeah.
I presume that there are better platforms out there that don't think that it's their moral responsibility to decide within the realm of basically criminality. I will always specify this because, okay, yes, if you are telling people how to make pipe bombs on Patreon, yes, they have the right to shut you down. But Patreon has been bad about making political decisions about saying who we quote-unquote platform.
I'm not even worried about that, man. I'm worried about the fact that they reap you to the tune of 30%. So.
Oh, it's even worse.
Is it?
Because the other thing,
30%.
It is 30%.
Okay.
However, what they did was they have managed to up that if you use the Patreon app in the store. It's even more than 30%.
God.
Yeah, yes. I shit you not. It's that plus.
Right.
As though it is some kind of great service or some kind of time. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I have actively been de-apping my life. So I mean,
you have to.
You really do
you
because
do.
like eventually you get to the point in time where there's just too many of them, and everybody wants you to sign up for the app, and you're chasing a nickel off here or $1 off there. So it's retarded, and I refuse to do it anymore. So, like I actually like I really don't want to cancel it, but I might cancel one of my credit cards because of that. So it's my oldest credit card. It's the only one that I have left.
Is it tied to an app?
Yeah. So they're like they turn around and say, well, we're gonna do our billing through the app now, and I'm like, no, send me the fucking paper. And I've been saying this for like 2 years. They're finally cutting me off. I got a notice the other day. We will no longer be sending you paper statements. I'm like, motherfuckers.
You're like looking through like the fucking like state laws. It's like, can they do this?
Right? Yeah. So. Oh my god. Yeah. No, it's everything, man. It was just like that. But Google is hands down the worst, and so like I don't even use Chrome anymore. I use Edge. So I can't use it on my phone though. It's absolute garbage on your phone. So, like everything on my phone is still Android based. So
yeah. I mean, that's who makes the phone. I mean,
I get it, but the Google's wearing them like a sock. Well, it is Google. So
I mean,
yeah.
Well, okay, so no, it's not. All right, here's the thing: it's not. Android is an open platform system. That's what it is. It's basically phone Linux, right?
Uh-huh.
That's its beauty. It has been married to Google.
Yes.
And if you do, here's the thing: is the phone will let you amicably make that divorce if you so choose, right? But that is something that you have to look up. It is something that I know how to do it. I know how to sideload. I know how to do all this other stuff. But there's also a great number of things where, look, a lot of the work I do, it's tied to a Google account.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the draw. It's part of the ingrained system. And God help me, I'd much rather have it be attached to a Google account than an Apple account.
Yeah, you don't really have that many alternatives unless you're, like tech competent.
And there's and that being said, there's also about 15 proprietary logins. I don't even know where that comes into play. It's just whatever systems they use. It's this, and this. I don't care because I still have the same login and password for all of them, regardless of how stupid that is. But it is what it is, right?
Like identity theft it's bad if you get got. So, but I mean, you have to be really dumb or old or ignorant in order to get truly got now. So, like, if someone were to jack my Google password, it's not a huge deal. So, I mean, it'd be a pain in the ass, all right, for a little bit, but they're not going to get any money out of me.
They're not. So, and frankly, the very first time that they're asked for any two-factor authentication, it's going to put a stamp on it. It's going to be like, they'll ask you, like, did you do this? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
And they'll send it to your recovery email.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Or you'll see, like, you'll see the classic one. If something pops up on your phone that sends you a text message, you're like, huh. I'm going to change that password right now.
Right, yeah. I'm going to go live. In fact, I'm going to call them and lock that account.
Yeah. And to me, it seems like most of the agencies that monitor these things, it seems like they have a fairly good handle on knowing what's fake and what's not.
Yeah, they're pretty good. So, And then on top of it, I mean, if you're not banking in 10 different fucking places, it's pretty straightforward.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, I haven't had my debit card jacked. My brother had his jacked, and people were trying to buy TVs at Walmart on it.
So it sounds like that got found out.
Oh, right away,
Yeah.
like within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So, of him actually his card getting, like card readered, and that happened at a gas station of all things.
No shit.
Yeah.
He actually got hit by one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom got hit by one at King Supers. So
Get out of here.
Yep. So she got hit by one, and they found out like almost immediately. Like I don't even think she had a chance really to get home before they were calling her. So
Wow. Okay.
because the guy was in the same store. Well, they don't know who it was. I mean, well, they probably do because they got cameras and stuff, but they never told my mom.
Yeah.
So but he I don't know. Maybe he did it through one of those pocket scanners or something like that, or maybe he was waiting for some old lady to get confused at the self checkout, or something like that. So, but then he goes and he tries to buy like Apple Pay cards right then, off that. So they all got denied. So in the same store. So there you go. But
Well, I mean, that's his move. He's like, he knows it's got to be quick.
you got to be real quick.
Yeah.
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 So well, then you gotta get it cashed out real quick too, man, because otherwise they're gonna nullify the numbers. So
Yeah, it's kind of wacky. I feel like at this point, like it's not. We lived in the.
we lived in the dangerous days of the internet, man. Yeah.
Yeah, let me ask you this: like, how many absolute horror stories? I don't mean that like in particular, but I mean like the things that were presented to you as the like. Watch out for this, or it will destroy you. How many of these have we walked through in our lives? Would you say
dozens?
Would you say what are the ones that you can remember? It's like if this happens to you, you're done.
Oh,
and you must do this to prevent it.
Yeah. So you got to get mortgage insurance because some squatter could claim your house.
Okay.
And you're gonna lose your fucking house.
How far back does that one go?
That one goes back 30 years, man.
I was gonna say
so,
that.
But then, like, it's like, oh, well, there's been a great big hack, and everybody's got everybody's fucking social security number, so you better get mortgage insurance,
Okay.
so to protect
Okay.
your home, otherwise someone's gonna file a lien against it.
Right.
And you're gonna lose your home, and they're gonna take all your shit and eat your dog, and like all this stuff. And it's like none of that's gonna happen, man. So so that was always
Okay,
one.
that was one.
Yeah, never use your debit card online. If you use your debit card
Oh,
online,
yeah.
they're gonna suck every last penny out of you.
Okay,
kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
So I'm gonna bleed you like a vampire. So
Okay.
it's like, no, man.
And
So
that-
it's protected. It says Visa on the goddamn card.
That's correct. I mean, so that one must go back to at least like 1997, 98, somewhere around there.
Yeah, probably around there. As
Those
soon as you
first
can
years
start
of, like,
doing,
that, yeah.
because the first thing was like, well, go get yourself a little credit card that's only got like a $2,000 limit,
Right.
And then do all your eBay shopping with that. I was like, oh yeah, that's smart. I'm gonna link my AOL account to it too. So, but no, there was probably about like 10 years there where they could get you. So, and
Right.
you could get got, and if you weren't paying attention, you could get got bad. So, and I mean, there are a couple ways to do it. If someone had your personal information, they could open up a whole bunch of digital accounts on your name. Okay, they could run up a shitload of charges. And then you had to like demonstrate, no, that's not fucking me. So, and so there was
Right.
a time there where it was a little dangerous. And now it's like, it's almost like vendor beware. So, because if you sell this
Right.
dude a car,
Yeah, that's true.
and that
Yeah.
dude's not that dude, okay, you're going to be on the hook. So, I mean, at least of all, you're not going to get paid for the car. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's true. It's that's a good point. It walked that fine line between asking like 2 questions to open a mortgage
right. Yeah.
and like 40 and
Right, yeah, and I need a passport and a birth certificate and like
Right.
fucking 8 years of utility bills and
oh shit, there's
all kinds of stuff.
the way they do it now is basically go ahead and scan the front and back of your government ID, then take a selfie of yourself,
Yeah,
and this has to be done in 30 seconds.
yeah, I've seen
So
that.
unless you are doing that like fucking classic tough guy shit where like you have a crack team of like thugs that come in there and capture a dude, and they're like holding his arm behind his back, and they're saying like, just smile for this picture, just don't make any stupid faces, right? It's like, open your fucking eyes, man, right? You know, unless you have that kind of thing going on, they're gonna, even if it's like weird. I've had this happen where they're like, picture's blurry, man. So it doesn't work. Doesn't work. Yeah,
I haven't done that many things online that record a picture of me.
It's new. I mean, this is something I would say, dude. One of
like the last couple of years,
I've done things where, like, when you take assessments, your camera has to be on.
Oh yeah, I've done that. Well, I've been the administrator of that.
Okay, yeah.
So
your camera has to be on, and they have to have full view of your your computer screen. Yeah, the whole time.
Yeah, we do that. We have video proctoring that we do now through a contracting company, and man, students hate it because it was like, I know you're trying to cheat.
Exactly. Yeah,
and they're more strict than we are, man. You might as well just come into the office and take it.
Exactly, because if you're a teacher doing this, dude, I know how it is. I proctored live tests, and you just kind of walk around and you talk with with Deb, and you sit there and you play hangman, and it's like, oh, it's Chester Cheetah, right? That's the thing is, you can only walk around so much. If it's your singular job to watch these people, you do it like a hawk, man. And anything that's suspicious, just automatic fail, because they don't have conditions there where it's like,
they're not going to go key your car.
Well, they're not. It's not just not going to key your car. It's that the people that are watching this, their only stipulation is basically, I see something suspicious, I fail it. It's not that you can talk it over and say like, well, dude, I mean, like, I had something different written on my hand, but not test stuff. It's like, show me your hand.
Show me your hand.
No, it's just like, that looks wacky, you fail. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that simple. No, that's the thing. And some of the other scams, of course, were there was the like 8 years ago, if I recall, 8 or 5 years ago, it was the phone call from the IRS.
Oh yeah.
They did that one. Yeah. Maybe that was 5, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah, probably 5 to
somewhere.
10.
Yeah, somewhere.
Because it was after the Nigerian prince scams. So,
which turns out was I didn't know this, but this was an evolution of something called the lottery scam.
Yep.
Yeah.
You won the lottery. Blah blah blah. You need to make
pay
a deposit.
To get your money. Yeah. The same thing.
Yeah, some of the scams now it's like some of the scams are outright just targeted to people who would be susceptible to them. So
yeah,
but a lot of them are just shotgunned out there. It's like, what, really? So what like, did you think I was going to pay you in Apple Pay cards? Come on, man.
I've never paid the government in those before.
No, exactly. Yeah. It was like, so I need to report to my local constabulary. Otherwise, they're going to send the patrolman out to get me, huh? So
yeah, they were doing ones where like they'd find some information on you, and they'd be like, I have your family member. And
hey man, there's some scary ones out there now. Like, you can go on the bank website and you can actually, there's a thing on there where you can put this on there. But there's some AI scams out there where people will call up the bank using an AI generated voice.
Oh.
Yeah, and say, hey, I need you to transfer this money to blah blah blah. So And so you can actually go on the bank site and say, do not do any transfers on my account unless I do them in person. So,
So basically, no telephone.
Yeah. So, and the hilarious thing is, if I ever had to call the bank, I would have to go to the bank anyway, man, because I don't remember what my safe word is with the bank. I don't even know what it is, Jeff.
I know mine. Again, that has to do with it's a derivative of something I've been using for decades.
I don't even know what mine is, man.
So, all right. So I have a base one that has been around.
Combinations?
Well, so here's the thing is I have a base one that has been used since I've needed like passwords, right? Now, here's the thing is, as time has gone by and websites have increased their security requirements, I've had to make alterations for it.
Yes, me
right?
too.
So there are some components where I'm like, well, when did I open this account? It's like 2008. Well, then that means it must have been this variation, unless they bothered me and said, "Hey, son, this nonsense is not going to fly anymore. This like repeating number thing that you're doing, like, no, we don't do that anymore."
Oh man, I did that for years at work. For years, same password and then just add a digit.
1, 2,
So yeah.
3. Yes, I know. I know.
So
I know.
actually, William got me back on that thing because he said, "Well, just take your numbers and put them before your letters. That works like a charm, man." So
Oh shit.
yeah, and he's
A
like,
little smart like that.
he told me that. Yeah,
yeah.
I think he said that on the podcast, man. He was like, "Yeah, if you want to fuck up just about anybody who's trying to steal your password from a list, just change all the numbers to the front end. They'll never fucking guess it." And I asked one of the cybersecurity guys down at my work about that. He was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "That makes it infinitely more difficult." So
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I mean, versus yeah. And so I know there was a point where it didn't require special characters, and then at the point that it did, the letter A became an @ sign.
yeah, or O's became zeros. Yeah, yeah.
So I think at this point most of the old ones have eventually like wrapped over and said you cannot use a simpleton password like this anymore, and they've updated me to the current one.
Yeah.
So, but there was a while there for, I don't know, like 2012 to like 2018 where it could be any number of like 6 or 7 different things that are all very similar to each other.
Mine was always
I
easy to
became
tell at work
frustrated.
because it was basically my seniority date. So, and then how many years I worked there.
Yeah, and I feel a lot of this is, just things that have. I don't know the last site that I went on that asked me to set up 3 security questions.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I feel like
since I've
that's
had to
kind of
do
done away
those. I'm
with.
sure you could still find them out there. Now, like everything now is 2FA or 3. Or like I have a couple sites that actually it's 2-factor authentication with an authenticator app, so it's 3-factor.
Yeah.
And then that's like, okay, if you can get through that, then I guess whatever's in there is yours, dude. So, but I mean, you're going to have to hack my cell phone and my authenticator app.
Right.
So,
Right.
so good luck. So,
Well, and that's the thing is, if you're that good, there's nothing that I was going to be able to do to stop you.
you got bigger fish out there
Right.
to go after than me.
Right,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like, don't... I mean, unless you take a look at this and say, like, the genius is to skim $4.68 off of a bunch of accounts, but...
But the risk on that, because you're going to have...
Exactly.
You got 1,000 people out there. One person is going to get a real burr up their ass about their missing $4. So, and they're going to be your undoing.
Bro! There used to be... Man, okay. Because, we're going to walk this back in real style here, because those are the same people, like, back in the day, that they would comb through every phone call they made every month, right? And even if they saw 40 cents.
Dude, that was my mom. So, yeah. I mean, she still does. She still actually balances her checkbook in the check register.
Hey man, I got nothing but respect for that. That's I would never do it. I don't care.
I quit doing that a long time ago once I realized that actually the check register on the banking site does it for you.
Yeah.
So, and if there's any discrepancies in there, you just flag it and then you send that to, or you call them. So, and it's like, and then on top of it, I write like 2 checks a year. So now it's really easy.
Dude, the last places that took checks, they also take other payment. Because I used to, one was guaranteed, one was always guaranteed to the DMV.
The DMV?
The DMV used to only take cash or
I
checks.
do remember that,
Yep.
yeah.
They used to only take cash or checks, so that would be one of the, 2 checks I'd write on the year. And I can't remember, there was one other agency that only
You're
took
right,
checks.
the DMV only took checks.
They were, wasn't the other check that you wrote, wasn't that to the hunting and fishing club?
Yep, I still write that one every single year. And then the other one that I do a couple of them. So, because I make donations at the end of the year, so I write checks for those.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
there you
so
go.
I actually send them paper checks. So,
When's the last time you've had to order new checks?
I've still got 1,000.
I was going to say.
So to be fair, it's when we moved into our current house. So because we wanted our current address on it.
There you go.
That was it.
And that was a while ago.
That was a long while ago,
Yeah.
and I still got a couple thousand checks.
Bro, the checks I have, I have to scratch off the 1-9 so I can write 2,000 on the year.
Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Mine aren't
Yeah.
that old.
These are the checks that I got the first time I ordered checks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've never used a full box.
So, like, yeah, the first... Yeah, I'd say the first 5-10 years we were married, we paid all our bills with checks. So I did go through quite a few.
And that's fine. Look, this was a different, it was a transitory time, but I do remember,
I
like,
used to pay my rent with a check.
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. I remember, I guess I'm old enough to remember people paying for grocery with checks and
Oh, my mom
things like
still
that.
does.
See,
She can't help it. Like, use your debit card. She's like, no, they stole it last time. I was like, fair.
yeah.
She'll sit there and she's like, hey, I wrote my check 4 days ago. It hasn't come out yet. So
Just well,
it's like, Mom, they probably go to the bank once a month now.
I was going to say, I was like, so when 4 more people write a check, so they have 10,
Right.
they'll take them
Yeah,
in.
they'll take them in. So
I don't understand. The bank is right next door.
You want the cashier to just, like, pull the light on the line and say, like, hey, guys, we got a check. I got to go
pull
run
the
next
light
door.
on the
Yeah,
line. Wow.
yeah.
You know, I haven't been to the grocery store in a while. Do they still have lights up?
They do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that they had like the like beacon over the self checkout thing.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
Yeah. But they do. When there's usually, it is rare to see more than one. Most of the time, number one, it's 0. Most of the time, it's just the self check.
Yeah.
From the hours between like 10 o'clock and like 5, they'll usually have one.
One. Yeah. No, I took my mom to the grocery store last week, and that was definitely the case. So, but you know, there's like always like certain people who are. I mean, at that time of day, because I took her at like 11 o'clock in the morning. So there were old people, and there was a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And so it was like, this makes sense. If I was, you know, like, this is when I would want to shop if I was either of those conditions. So, you know.
Not me. I'd want to be there at 6.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be getting up that early when I'm 65. So, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
know a lot of old people that be getting up at like 5:15 in the morning
Yeah.
because they went to bed at 8.
Or no, like that, or, yeah, it's like, I was reading about this the other day about things that start to change as you get older. And your sleep cycle shortens, that's for sure. So, and then there's like 2 batches of aging that you go through. One's at like 45 to 50. And so I'm in the thick of that one. And then the other one's like 65 to 70. So.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. Well, and I understand that can change depending on all sorts of different factors, but I think that's generally true.
Yeah. This was a big longitudinal, multi-decade study on aging. It was kind of interesting. So they talked about that. They talked about different nutritional requirements as you get older and things
Yeah.
like that. So how hard it is to build muscle. So especially once you get past the 65. So it's almost impossible. So
There are ways around it.
there are. Yeah.
But
I don't think this study wasn't like we're testing Group A against Group B.
no.
So this was just observational. So, yeah, and sleep less, eat less. So, and then there was another one in there that I can't remember exactly what it was.
Sex.
That one was a little bit variable. That one was a little bit variable.
A lot of that depends on all of those other variable factors that you mentioned. That a lot of that goes into obesity and a lot of things like that too.
Well, yeah. I'd imagine that your relationship status has a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So if you are, say, for example, 72, well, okay, I'll just say it. Like, if you're Bill Belichicking it, then you are, if you're with your current girlfriend who's like 30 versus your old wife who was like 66, you're probably doing it more than normal
I don't know.
for that age. I understand that certain retirement communities are kind of hotbeds for this shit.
See, that's what I've heard. So, and then particularly like, Jeff, I've seen colonies of old people like down in Phoenix.
Right.
There is no lack of sex going on down there.
And it's weird to think about, but in the same token, it's like, you're good for you guys.
Well, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
No, it actually like. Oh yeah. Haha.
no. It's. Yeah, I know. Yeah, if you've got that going on, like at that age, I'm absolutely happy for you, because there's that common view that basically that has totally exited your system by the time you're like 60.
See, that's not true. So, I mean, if that's a common view, I get it.
Oh, it used to be. It used to be.
Yeah, but like, there's like the thing that kills that off is like middle age, okay? Because you have kids, you have jobs, you have like shit to do around the house, stuff like that. This is when most marriages break apart. So, and
okay. Well,
yeah,
that makes
when you
sense,
get a
yeah.
little bit
Yeah.
older, if if the kids are up and gone, then it's like, all right, we can walk around naked again.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, and I've seen people do that. So, or at least, like, I've seen marriages go that way in the past. So, or sometimes that's the end. It's like, okay, the kids are out of the house, I want to get rid of fucking you too. So, I've seen that happen too. So, but that's not as common. So,
Well, yeah, I've seen every variation of that. I've
Yeah.
seen variations where it looks like you guys have completely made it, and you're like, you're getting divorced at 78?
Yep, I've seen that.
Like, wow.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And again, that doesn't break my heart in the same way that a lot of people do. It's like, you made it that far, why stop? It's like, well, no, I mean, if you're basically taking the perspective of, hey, there's a chance for the two of us to, find something that we both really like. I'm like, you know what? I got it. I got it. Do that. But yeah, a lot of people used to say, it's like, dude, you don't have that many years. Just to ride it out. It's like, no. Life's not necessarily about riding out at this point. I guess it all depends on your perspective, but
And I think a lot of it depends on your health too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's sort of a weird thing,
Yeah, I had an uncle. He got divorced in his mid-70s. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a lot of people would say, like, why? But
We're not really quite sure. So, but, like, because he's a pretty private dude. So, as far as my mom's family goes. But he didn't live that much longer.
really,
No, he
No.
didn't. He could not really survive on his own. So,
wow.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know the whole story there. So.
It doesn't sound like you'll ever get the whole story either.
Oh no, it's buried.
Right.
It's done.
Is this a Michigan story?
Yeah.
So if you were going to do your sleuthing, it would have to start there, yeah.
Well, I'd start with a phone call, but yeah.
Oh, that's true. It's like, do you know? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, wow, you saved me a drive.
Oh, you drive?
No.
Actually, how far is the drive to Michigan? Have you ever done that?
I've never done it.
Yeah. Well, it's
So,
fun. Yeah.
yeah. Well, Omaha is 8 hours, so I imagine it's another 8 to 10. So yeah, probably 20-ish.
I don't want to do that drive.
Fuck that. No. No, man, I got a 12-hour range. So
I think that's fair.
yeah, I got a 12-hour range. Otherwise, we're saving up and we're gonna fly. So yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The 20-hour I took with her
Yeah.
was worth it to take my dog to see my mom.
Yeah.
And I do have some nice pictures, you know, so it's like, all right, that I got. But for other things I've got plans, like, no, I'm not going to drive to fucking Florida. I'm not going to...
I would never drive to Florida.
Dude, I feel like that would be like a full-on, like, retirement project where it's like...
That's not a drive, that's a migration.
That's a good point. It's like, I'm not making that drive.
I'm not coming back, man.
Unless that truck says fucking U-Haul on it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
that's a good point. Yeah.
So, or maybe I'll come back next fall. Kind of thing.
But if I was coming back next fall, I would fly. I would be like...
Well, so my in-laws migrate every year, and they drive, but they need a car when they get there.
They're not as far. Like, Arizona is not...
It's 12 hours. It's not 20. It's 12.
Exactly, yeah. Theoretically, you could... I would consider 12 to be the cutoff point of what you should do or can do in a day.
And they do it in a day. I've done it in a day.
Yeah. I've
It's
done it in a
fine.
day, too.
It's not fun, but it's fine. But like, if I were to do that drive, I'd stay there for at least a month. So
Right.
yeah. So yeah.
I'm such a baby at this point because it's like, that's how long it's going to take for my back to recover for sitting
Dude,
in
the
that
last time
car.
I did that, I was like that. I was like, "Fuck, man!" You know, I
Awful,
got out
yeah,
like 2 days.
yeah.
It's like, I'm starting to feel a little human again. You know. And then like 3 days later, it's like, well, we got to get ready for this drive. It's in 2 days. I got to start, tensing up my back. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm with you, dude.
So,
I hate
I
it.
would not do
I hate
it,
it.
man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Absolutely. So. No, if I was doing that, yeah, because that's the 12 hours was almost exactly, depending on where you could pick up or lose speed. That was the North Dakota trip. That was almost exactly 12 hours, but you could make it in 10 and a half. You could, depending on how much break time you wanted or how much you wanted to, like, really the thing is how much gas station time did you want to spend or whatever. Are you going to stop? Eventually you could also, like, do the thing that I did. It's like, all right, well, if I'm leaving in the middle, if I'm leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Even if I get home in 12 straight hours, what time of day will it be when I get there?
Right.
So I'm like, I'm losing a day on the return because, like, as soon as I get there, I'm like, well, I'm going to get there way the fuck late at night. There's nothing for me to do there. So it's like, well, the company's paying for it, so why don't I stop here in Rapid City where it's nice, spend their money, right? Sleep there for a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Because I'm going to get there in the middle of the morning, right? Mm-hmm. Well, basically, like, around, like, noon, 1 o'clock. Sleep there for a while, leave. For me, like, too, especially, like, there are places around this country, the places around Wyoming and Nebraska and all these other places where it doesn't matter what time of day you're traveling, the traffic will be roughly the same, which is to say there's that one guy, and then there's that other guy who was doing 120. He passed me a while back.
Yeah.
And there's that dude that's doing 60. I passed him. Whatever the time of day is, that's the same.
Yeah.
But here in Colorado, Colorado Springs to Denver, leaving at night is so much nicer.
Oh,
or
yeah.
leaving in the early morning is so much nicer than...
It's got to be early enough, man.
Well, this is me. So I'd be leaving at like 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And you'd be getting into Denver around 1 o'clock in the morning.
That's fine.
So absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine.
Right? And you just cruise right on through.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
But you're right. Around like 4 o'clock, would you say, Denver?
In the afternoon?
No, in the morning. 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock.
When the traffic starts to pick up?
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you'll see it at 4 o'clock, but it won't be...
But
It's not...
no.
It's not...
It's drivable. So,
absolutely
you know.
it's drivable. You'll see it, but it's not...
Yeah, bro, I commuted out to DIA for a year and a half.
There you go.
And so,
Yeah.
like, if you're getting close to the 6 o'clock, it's like 6 to 8 is the worst. So, and then in the afternoon, it's 4 to 6 is the worst. So,
10 o'clock a.m., it ain't no fucking, like, pushover either.
No, but it moves. So, in the
Barring an accident, yes.
Yes. So, but yeah, like the other ones are like I mean,
Lunchtime's no picnic, man. It sucks.
I don't think I've ever done that, actually. So, no, I remember commuting back from DIA, especially when I started working night shift. I had to be in my car at 5 o'clock in the morning, okay?
To get to where by
home.
when?
So, home was in Broomfield, so it's 40 minutes. So, because if, like, just getting off on 110th, okay, up to where I lived, if I was caught in that between, like, 6:15, so I was fucked. So that
How many more minutes would that add?
at least
to your
half an
drive?
hour.
God.
So, and I mean, we're talking about I can see my house. Yeah.
Now, I'm also thankful because I've heard that places like Baltimore are a nightmare. Like certain places like
I don't know that much about Baltimore.
I've heard Baltimore is like the worst traffic on the planet. Not like, so it's in a tie with Los Angeles.
Well, I bet it's terrible now that he's missing a bridge. So, but
I can't even fucking imagine.
Yeah.
Like you and I, as city planner game expertise, I know what kind of damage losing one bridge can do.
yeah, but you can rebuild it right away. Just
Right.
click and plop.
Like,
Yeah.
you and I, yes.
Right, yeah.
Right. If you leave it,
They actually have to build it.
no. So I mean, the stories that I've heard of people like going from like if you're gonna like head out to Jersey from like Manhattan, the stories where they say like, how long does it take? 30 minutes to 2.5 hours, depending on traffic. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck,
see, I've
man?
heard that about New York, and I've heard that about Boston. I heard Boston's terrible. So, but the thing that I hear is that, like, LA, there's nothing like LA. So,
I've
like,
been there.
anywhere,
Yeah, it sucks.
you know, in the world, because it's just like, no. Your commute's not going to be between half an hour and 2.5 hours. It's going to be 2 hours and 15 minutes to 2 hours and 30 minutes. There's no variance in it, you know? So, and it's fun, like I don't know. I like to get on the Google Earth sometimes and just look. So at the traffic,
Oh,
LA is just I don't know why.
that is. Wow, man, that's like that's like war porn for traffic. If you go, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
it
had
really
kind of enough
is.
war porn lately, so yeah.
Because you wouldn't go to you wouldn't go to that highway like just north of Cheyenne and look at that just to be like, look at those clear roads.
It's green. Look
Yeah.
how green it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would not. You're
Green, all the
looking
way
for
to Canada. Yeah.
you're looking for the traffic that is essentially people like catching grenades with their teeth.
Yeah, where's the
Yeah.
darkest red? Yeah. And it's always LA. It's always LA. So you cannot find a green road in LA. So
Now, what I don't know is I don't know how that compares worldwide. I don't know if there's a
my understanding is that like traffic in the United States is awful but organized. So
Right.
like so, you know,
right.
my understanding
right.
is like in other countries, particularly like former colony type countries.
Like Africa or
Yeah, like parts of Africa or more like
India.
yeah. So where they still drive on the left side.
Right.
So
right,
that there's like kind of a different mentality when it comes to driving. So it's like kill or be killed.
right. Get out of my way. I'm a motorist.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Get out of my way.
I don't feel like blocking the street with protest would get people to stop in some of those
You would die.
countries.
Yeah. You would die. Yeah.
Are you talking about countries where, like, say, 100 extra people are hanging off a train car?
Maybe. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I only know a couple guys from India. They speak very highly of it. So, and they go back pretty often, I guess. So he was one of the guys who retired the other night.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, he's an awesome human being. So, but then, like, I've heard this about, like Egypt. Egypt is a place you do not drive unless you're thoroughly insane. So, you know, I mean, if you're not willing to get in the Thunderdome, just take the train. So,
Well, you were either raised in the madness or you weren't.
Exactly. That's what I've heard.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, like, this is... okay, my vet, she was from Illinois and then spent most of her time in Wisconsin and now is here. And this is where she says, like, I understood Wisconsin driving. Colorado drivers, she says, like, she didn't, like, say it in terms of, like, you guys are broken or there's something wrong with you. It's just, like...
Because they're all sick.
But no,
Yeah.
it was more so, like, you guys are psychopaths. And I get it. I get it from an outsider's perspective.
No. I mean, like, last year when I went to Michigan, I was driving around, I was like, man, everybody here is so nice. So, it's like, that guy's going to let me in. There's like, whoa, this place is cool. So then I came back out here to Colorado, it's fine. So
It's fine because I understand it. But
I do understand
it. It is, there is, going out to Portland, it was like, you guys suck. And it wasn't that I was, like, picking on people per se, like, but it's just when you go to a place that's so, like, lackadaisical, like, that feels way more dangerous than the psychos I'm used to, where the thing is, I can tell so I mind my distances very carefully here, and as I'm sure you do,
yes.
right? Because when it's like you know exactly how much room that you can give between cars to prevent people from playing the lane switching game.
Yes.
And you have to decide whether you want to let them play or you're going to say, nah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to establish justice here.
I don't ever do that.
This
Do not ever do
because if you don't, that could make things more dangerous sometimes.
I am like the
I
most
know.
defensive highway driver there is. I find a truck, and I put about 150 to 200 yards between me and that truck. Nobody ever gets between me and the truck. Because you're like, oh, look at this idiot. He's behind a truck. And I'm like, I'm fine. So, and then if someone really wants to get past me, he's got room to get in, okay, and then get around the truck.
Okay.
But this is how I drive on the highway. And, like, I do it every week. So,
Right.
multiple times. And, like, I feel safer on the highway than I do on, like, Academy.
Well, yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, there's just this understanding of, the type that you're looking for is the people that can ruin everything because they want to get there just a little bit faster.
Yeah,
right?
I let them go.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too, because it's really never going to be that far from me until I'm taking a turn, right?
No.
And that's the thing is, like, I know I have to slow down and stop. That's okay, right? But yeah, it's you set up your strategies based off of knowing that these people will be running through here.
Yes, I do. The only time that I establish justice, as you put it, is when I am passing somebody else and someone rolls up on my ass, And it's like, I'm sorry, man, I'm not going to pass this guy at 95 miles an hour.
Right.
Okay? So
Right.
he's doing 75. I will push 80. So, and if you have a problem with that, you can push 80 until I pull over in front of this guy.
Right.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
I totally understand. Yeah, and it's just something that once you get used to, it's like, all right, I can deal with this. But if you're from another place, yeah, like you talked about, like Michigan or like she's talking about Wisconsin, it's like, it's different. I'm sure you have your own quirks.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Everybody has their own quirks. But yeah, it's
They're very laid back there, though, man. So, and not like lazy like in the parts of the South, but like just, it's like, hey, I'm sorry, kind of thing.
There's a little bit of that. There's a
lot
little of that Midwestern brushing up against Canada politeness.
There is, but you
Yeah,
find
but-
that in a lot of
yeah.
places, man. Shit, dude, I used to find that in Wyoming. So,
Wyoming's a different story. This is a. I don't want to generalize them too much, but Wyoming people never bothered me. Wyoming people, they have this weird mix of. I guess the West Bay could say it is.
they're
on their
more afraid
terms.
of you than you are.
Kind of, yeah. In the
they
same way
really
you're
are.
talking about, like king cobras. Yeah, it's
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, there's this thing where their big emphasis when they buy their land, and the whole thing is like, so what does the Wyoming person want? It's like, well, they want a house. It's like, okay. Then they want a whole bunch of that, like, scrub wood or whatever it is, like, surrounding this.
Yeah.
That puts as big of a perimeter between their house and the next neighbor as much as possible.
Yeah, and preferably you can't see it from the highway.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you need help, they are absolutely willing to be like, well, let me help you. So it's like you want to be away from people, but on your terms.
Yes.
And that's the best way I can explain Wyoming.
Yeah.
I think there's a
little bit of paranoia there that's unhealthy. So I definitely, like I spent enough time in Wyoming proper, like day in, day out, to kind of know that there's a little bit of paranoia there that's not good.
Yeah.
So,
Well, because you wouldn't want that much space in between.
Not even that. It's just like they'll help you, but they'll never trust you. So, and so it's different.
So it's kind of like, we will always be us, you will always be you.
Very much so.
You are not
whereas
one of
like
us.
Michigan and Wisconsin are not like that. You're family the day you show up. So, it's different. Until you prove yourself like being a dick. So then they'll turn on you in a heartbeat.
Okay, so here's my question. Is there anybody, like, what kind of people do Midwestern people not like?
They're not really a big fan of like Southern California people. So, if you're pushy and pretentious, if you think your pants go on different than mine do, we've got a little bit of a problem.
Okay, so that hold of so you think you're better than us.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that there.
I got it.
They'll sniff that out in a heartbeat.
Okay.
So Wyoming people just assume you feel that way. So,
Well, I mean, the way you and I talk about it, they're not wrong.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I didn't have any problem with anybody in Wyoming.
No, but occasionally...
the local sheriff was corrupt as fuck. So...
Oh, God, that was something I was laughing at, too, was... I saw an application of Grand Theft Auto, and I wonder if this is why this is taking them so long, is to make sure that stuff like this finds its way into the new game. So the HoloLive people have been playing, like, there's like 30 of them, and they're all playing GTA Online at the same time, right? So much to the point where they've organized, like, little factions and stuff, right? Okay. Where it's like, these are the police... These are the police rules that they play. This is the baker. The baker is now making drugs. The drugs are being sold by the taxi driver to the gangsters and all this other stuff. And I was like dying laughing just seeing the way that this, like, it mirrored real life in some ways so quickly, but also not. I was laughing so hard because the chief of police, right, was trying to get on a call. And of course, these are all girls, and they're all just like screwing around. And they're like, I'm laughing at this. So the chief of police, there's something that's going on, and she's calling out and nobody's answering, right? Mm-hmm. So she's like, where the fuck are all my cops? There's like 8 of them, right? And what she eventually does is she kicks into the door to the fucking strip club, and all the cops are... just like dialogue, and they're like, how does this... and maybe I'm wondering, like, this kind of silliness is the only cut. Like, I wonder if that's what they're trying to make sure is still there in the new game.
Well, if they don't put it in the game, then it will be modded in quickly.
You think so?
Well, okay. I mean, like, so GTA 5's got a little bit more of a landscape for it because it was designed very tongue-in-cheek. So
yes.
I mean, the FBI is called the FIB. So for crying out, come on, man. So that's a reach. So anyway, there's I mean, there's certain things in that game that wouldn't fly today. So,
but they're still playing it.
Well, so no, that one's fine. No, I'm talking about a new release. So,
okay,
I'm talking about a new release. Yeah. So they're not going to have quite the vernacular. So
they did say it a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
Like, Lamar was in love with that word.
Which made him everybody's favorite character
I know,
for the
that's what
first
I'm
part of the
saying, stop
story, man. Until you met Trevor and realized, oh my god, the redneck's even funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's like, what am I doing playing with boring-ass Michael? You know?
Well, I guess that's the question. Is Franklin better than Michael?
Franklin's way better than Michael. So, but Trevor's the guy who's just like, wait a minute, you have an M60?
You're a psychopath.
You're
I know,
let's go
I know,
use this.
I know.
You know?
It's like, why are you guys friends with each other? You don't seem to... Okay, I got it.
Yeah, but he takes over the strip club by just walking in the door and murdering the owner. So he's like, yeah, he's out now. He left me in charge. It's like, this would never work, man. But, I mean, kudos to you guys for trying. So, you know.
I guess that's the thing is, like, yes, I'm aware that it can't do that again.
No.
But I'm hoping it can somehow, like...
Dude, it's set in Florida.
I don't want it to be
goofy as
serious.
fuck.
That's the thing. I don't want it... They keep selling it like it's going to be serious. I don't want it to be serious. I want it to actually have at least some of that same kind of dumbassery.
Well, we'll see what the online component looks like. If they have
Fair
a
enough,
GTA 6 online, Twitch is going to be just alive with that shit for years.
It's still huge now.
Oh, I know. That's because people go out there and they do the RP, you know? And I mean, there's a million mods for it. So, I mean, you can mod anything. I mean, I've seen people on the fucking submarine for crying out loud and stuff, you know? So, actually, I think that's a mission in the online portion, but I can't remember. So,
well, yeah, I mean, the fact that the medics, right, the hospital workers,
yeah.
they got bored and they wanted to make some extra money, so they started dressing up and fucking jacking people so I could get them injured and then charge them to heal them. I'm like, this is fantastic, right?
They've been doing that for years, though, man.
Well, no, I know, but this is what I'm talking about. Is like that creative component, right? As long as that's there, I think that's going to be awesome. But
we'll see. So it's not coming out anytime soon.
Well, next year.
Yeah, but actually, fucking next Dragon Age is coming out at the end of the month. So
I might be passing on that one, man. It
why
looks
is that?
rough.
What looks rough about it?
The design and the design philosophy are not things that I'm into.
I have not read anything about it
Jesus
or seen it, so
Christ.
tell me what's wrong with it.
Okay, the best way I can say it here is they have the wrong people designing this for the wrong crowd.
Okay.
That's the nicest I can put it.
So how different is it than the last one?
Well, the combat looks a little bit janky. I don't really like... So, it is, like, so...
It's not turn-based, though, is it?
It's as turn-based as the last one was. You had a mode where you could pause it, right? Which is pretty normal for kind of games like these. So it's not actually turn-based. So it is kind of like an action role-playing game, but it does the sort of like... It's not one big open world like they did last time around, right?
Oh,
they
so
broke
you
it
can't go
into
to the
maps. Well... It is
they did
kind
that
of
last
like
time.
that.
It
That's
was
what I'm
broken
saying.
into
Is they didn't convert it into a big open world, right? It's still individual places like this. In that same regard, the combat looks a little bit janky. I don't know. I'll wait and see some people play and see if it looked janky. It looks. Let me say it this way: it looked busy. It looked like I don't know what the fuck is going on here. That's my major problem. But the other component of this, man, this is just like, dude, sometimes you just you gotta let some guys design some guy stuff.
Oh, why? What's in it?
It's
Is everybody gay again?
It's just smeared with queerness. And again, I don't have a problem with that per se, but it's like, I'm not... Your market that you're going for, okay, is not that big. Okay? It's not that big. It's just not. It's not... I know that you have it in your head that like 60% of all people are gay. It's like... But it's not. And so back off with this, okay? You can have some of those elements, but you guys are just...
Well, the last game seemed a little bit forward-leaning compared to like any other game that I had played at that point in time. I mean, when I almost got raped by that bull guy. without realizing that's what was happening.
Right.
So
Right.
it was a little bit off-putting. But then, like, it's not hard to pick up the cues in the game, too. So it's like, well, I don't have to play that kind of game.
No.
So, yeah.
No, and in that regard, I mean, I don't see enough, like, gameplay. Part of the thing is, like, I haven't seen any of the story develop out here or anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
So I've just basically seen the highlights of what they want to show you in terms of, like, look how action-packy this is. Like, well, I hate to break it to you, that my experience with the game, like, last time around, was not all that action-packy. It was 90% wandering around and picking up, like, little medals
Yep.
in the ground, getting into a couple little fights. And
There were
then,
some good fights.
well, there were,
But
but
you fight Dragon every now and then.
yeah, I mean, that wasn't, I don't even really consider that the emphasis of the game. It was like, it was sort of like your version of what you did with Fallout 4. It's like, this world has problems, and I'm going to try and
Inquisitor,
fix them.
I'm going to
Yeah,
fix them,
I'm going to try and
yes,
fix
yeah.
them. Like the major mechanic of shooting the green hand and killing the things. I'm like, this wasn't a great loop. I'm like, this is
No.
kind of... the only nice thing about it was sometimes you were under leveled and you got in a big fight, but the main loop of it was kind of like, eh.
I enjoyed it. So
No, I did too. I played it through 3 times, but I mean,
you did. I
yeah.
played it. I played it 1.5.
You-
One
you-
and like
you
3/4.
You were like 93%
I was
of the
pretty
way
close,
through.
yeah.
You were at basically the last.
Yeah, when my Xbox
Stop.
took a shit.
In the weirdest way too.
It did.
Yeah.
It took a complete shit. So,
So yeah, it's.
I'll have it on my PC if I do it this time. Yeah, I
Well,
don't
that
know.
too,
Man.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll check it out. So, but I did not get Baldur's Gate because of the turn-based combat. I watched a couple videos on that, and I was like, "Fuck this!" So
Just not for you at this
Dude,
point.
I do not do XCOM type games, so I absolutely despise them. Some people love that shit, but I like to just get in there and whack things, and don't make me don't turn this into Dota, so kind of thing. So, well, no, I guess that's not the right answer there, but
No.
don't. Yeah,
Well, I feel like
I don't want a battle to take 45 fucking minutes.
that's kind of it. Yeah. It's
So,
just-
like in Diablo 4, I can run through these guys in 8 seconds.
or you'll lose.
Or you'll
Right,
lose quickly.
that's-
Yes,
that's
exactly.
really it,
No
yeah,
arbitrary- Well,
yeah.
that's why I like The Witcher. The Witcher was very much so like that. So it's like, oh yeah, I think I can go fight this thing, and I was like, okay, let me go do some reading. Go back and do my homework. So did you bring your math with you? Yes. Did you bring your chem homework? Yes. So did you do your lit? Yes. Okay, now let's fight. And then I'd kill him, and I'd be like, okay, what's next?
Well, that's that's sort of the same thing. Yeah, that's the Witcher thing where it's like, well, I went in there thinking I was just like, I'm a tough guy.
I'm the Witcher,
Right?
yeah.
I've got this so figured out. And every now and then you go ahead and get your fucking cock cleaned, and you're like, did I go in there without putting any grease on the sword? Did I go? It's like, of course I did,
So,
because I was
yeah.
like, I don't need it. I'm tough. Did I go in there and my fucking like weapons are at like 16% and they're just like an iron rod?
broke.
Did I do that? I feel
do
like I
that?
did.
Yeah.
Is my armor now just clothing? Is this really
Right,
what's
yeah,
going on
yeah,
here?
yeah,
Is
yeah.
like, is the actual armor like beat to
Yeah.
death? How long has it been since I've actually bought something new that was good? Right. So yeah, it's that same kind of thing. You get your fucking
I don't
shit
remember
pushed
buying
in.
anything in that fucking game.
Oh, because you found. Well, you.
I did all the go get the Witcher gear things.
Yeah,
So,
and you
yeah.
have people craft it up for you.
Well, yeah, but then at that point in time, you
That costs
basically,
money, but yeah.
it does. But you don't spend money on anything in that game. So
Oh God! Ooh, how far did you get in the expansions?
I didn't beat the second one or the third one. That's one where you're going out to Blood Vampire guy,
Yeah, did you?
and I was kind of like,
Yeah.
What turned me off to the expansions was the boss fights. So there was a bunch of boss fights in there that was kind of like
Like the frog?
the frog, yeah. So he wasn't that hard. He did eat me a couple times.
Which is
So
pretty funny, yeah.
It is pretty funny,
Yeah.
but then after a little bit, it's like, okay, are you going to mutate into something else?
Oh, okay. So you're
So, come on, man.
you're talking about that fucking like that that classic Nintendo gotta fight it 3 times
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that going on
I thought
there.
we were past this.
Yeah, because you go through the whole thing with Gaunter O'Dim, and it's kind of like...
You know, okay, there
it
was
a good
something cool to that.
but,
Yeah.
but that, okay, so that expansion was short. I was surprised how short.
I kind of dug that one.
It was cool. So, but then you go to like, Witcher France. So,
Yep.
and Witcher France,
France,
is a
Italy.
very
yeah.
nice
Yeah,
place.
It is.
So, and there are things to spend money on there. So,
Well, so that means you had to have run into the enlightened Arabs
yes,
that's where you spend all the money.
where you start upgrading your shit,
And they start etching the runes into your swords and
That's
stuff
when
like
I started
that.
ducking out.
That's where all the money gets
Because I was
spent.
like, oh god, do I have to learn a whole new fucking thing here, man?
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's like 10,000 just to upgrade to the next thing,
Yeah.
and then you spend the money.
You're
on
right.
it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right. That is exactly where the next.
Yeah. So after stomping around not France for a little while, and then going to France/Italy, honestly, my eyes hurt after a little while. It was like, this place is green. It's like
It is.
offensively
Yes.
green. You know?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. It's because you come through that. We've talked about this before. We've come through this. Absolutely insulting version of medieval Europe, where yes, you are in.
Everybody is covered in shit.
You're in Great Britain. It stinks. Everybody's retarded. You have one other place.
In Britain, man, that's Poland, man.
Well, but you know what I'm saying, because they're pulling from that same mythos, right? Because
Right,
In
yeah.
hindsight, then you say like, are there other parts of Europe? And like, sure, come on over here. It's like, well, this is Northern Europe. And walking, it's like everybody here is like Viking and honor and warrior cats and
Oh
all
yeah,
this other
no,
stuff.
we're like half Viking, half Irishmen over here, and it's like you do realize that the Vikings raped the fuck out of Ireland, So and this is what
yes.
you would get.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And then you find the other places where it's like, oh, so this is ye enlightened France, Italy.
Right. Yeah.
And you find this via way of super mathematically advanced
Yeah.
the Middle East. I'm
The
like,
Middle East. Yeah.
like,
So who capture you first?
yes, they do.
Yeah.
They do. And again, you're right. It's short, and you do get your butt kicked in a couple of places where I'm like, all right, this is cool, because I've been clearing house on a lot of people, so it's nice that you get your butt
Oh
kicked
yeah.
a
By
little
that
bit.
point in time, you can go back to Skellige, and it's like giants. Sure.
Right.
Whack, 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 dead.
And you
So,
wow, it's
yeah.
just like, oh, I don't need
Like,
it.
look at this big fucking Cyclops-looking dude. He probably ate that whole village. Just one hit, dead.
Probably did. I'm going to leave my sword sheath for this one here because I think...
I think I can get him with my flamethrower hand.
yeah, I get him with the flamethrower hand. It's like, you know what? I am the bare knuckle brawl champion
Yeah,
of
yeah.
retard Skellige. So yeah, it's. Then you go to these places. It's like, I see what you're saying. I get it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
And that's evidently there's a little bit of that fucking mind rot sneaking into CD Projekt Red now with their, because they're making 2 new games. They are making Cyberpunk, the new Cyberpunk, and the next Witcher game. And Geralt is not supposed to be the hero of the new game.
I wouldn't mind playing as Ciri. So
I wouldn't either, but frankly, I'm gonna say it this way:
She was a lot of fun to play.
she's OP.
Huh?
She's OP.
She is OP. Yeah. So especially when you leave her at the end of the first one. So yeah.
So
She was fun to play with though.
she's super fun to play
So,
with, but
yeah.
I feel like it's going to be another. I feel like the game is going to start out with. So you're gonna start playing, and you're gonna do something, right? Maybe even with a different character, and then what
Maybe.
you're gonna do is you're gonna wake up as Ciri, and they're gonna say like, and she's gonna be like rubbing her head. She's gonna be like, "What happened?" It's like, I don't know who I am. And so this is going to be the reason that you can't do all that cool shit that you did at the end of the
maybe.
game. She's like, I don't remember who I am. What's my name?
I don't
And
know.
then-
They didn't do that to you as Geralt between 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, or 2 and 3. So, see, like you had a lot of choices to make with Ciri. So I bet you have that like interrogation scene. You're just like, we just need this for our notes. You know, kind of thing. Which, once I realized what they had done, I was like,
Yeah.
that's really fucking
Yeah.
clever, you
Yeah.
know? So, because it actually did change a little bit of shit in the game. But, like, both the CD Projekt Red games, they're kind of on rails, man. So, you know.
They are.
So, like, that's the one thing that I did like about Fallout was that when you got to the end, you could have 3 very different endings in that game. I mean, you all blew the thing up unless you decided not to.
Unless you decided to, and you're
So,
essentially
yeah.
siding with the bad guys.
Who have very nice plays full of, like, actual food. You know?
Well, you say but siding with the bad guys, this would actually be the closest way to restore civility to
Right.
this living shithole that we've established for ourselves.
Or you become the king of shitland, which is what I did.
What an honor!
It tells you to cowpox.
Yeah. So,
You call this living, huh? Okay.
no, and so, like, I don't know. We'll see what they do with it. Either way, both those projects are probably a ways off.
Definitely.
So,
yes.
you know,
yes.
we got GTA 6 to look forward to. Maybe Dragon Age. I did play No Man's Sky for a little while.
Did you like it?
It's okay. It's space Minecraft. So it is not like Starfield. So it is completely different. It is not you don't even meet other people in the game. So there's a couple cartoony aliens you meet, but that's about it. So
Were you bored?
very quickly. Very, very quickly. So yeah.
You know what? This was the.
It's a very pretty game though. So but it is
Well, that can be fun. So is
it
this?
could be.
I guess they've. What is the? There's a new category of game. They call it like homey,
Okay.
where the whole thing is to know that you're not going to be stressed when you play it. So it's
This
the
is
same.
very much like that.
Yeah, that's where they say like, what is it? That there's that indie farming game that everybody plays. It's Stardew Valley.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like that, where it's like you'll
Yeah,
never
so
be
you
in
just have a
real
chill
danger.
stream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of games that
It's a
you
big
can do that in,
category
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Shit, man, I play games like that. So, like, half my train games are like that. You're not going to be stressed. So, you run trains. So,
Could you feel stressed?
if you take it way too seriously, which most people do. So, you know.
Are they playing it wrong?
No.
You can say yes if they
I'll
are.
play it however you want. You know? So. They try and figure out how to do things the most efficiently as possible. And it's like, bro, you got to understand, you're paid by the hour. Not by the load. So.
But okay, that's your first few run-throughs should be for the purpose of understanding that, and then you actually play the game
I suppose.
where you use. Well, again, this is we've played too many of these games where it's like, all right, well, so the first step in SimCity or whatever is, or any city builder is like, well, to optimally do this
Yeah,
here
you
is
build a perfect grid.
well, it's not just the perfect grid. You come down and say like, well, the first step is I have to bulldoze everything flat. Trees, rocks, as a matter of fact, if I can destroy the river, that's better. Things like that where it's like if I can.
Just plow it over.
Yeah.
You know?
There were games where you could, do sort of, kind of like scrape off the coastline.
Oh, yeah.
And then it would recede, and then you just kind of keep scraping at it as it recedes. And then, once you get the hang of like, okay, so I get what optimal looks like. Let me see what happens if I build a city without destroying the lake. Right? Because nobody would do that. Nobody would destroy a natural resource like this.
Yeah.
Nobody would flatten this fucking mountain. Nobody would, that's
Right.
And you couldn't do that without dynamite anyway, and tons of it.
The nuclear weapons. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not enough dynamite in the United States to actually take this hell out. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, what would it take?
I'm sorry. Have you? I don't know of a single place where they actually filled in a fucking lake, an entire lake, except for like maybe Mexico City, but there's still parts of it that are lake. So
like
and it took them 200 years. Right. Come on, man.
I know. Famously, Alexander built a bridge to an island.
It's like 300 yards. It's not like this fucking... He didn't build like in fucking Florida.
But that was a marvel of its time.
It was, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So, yeah, no, I get you, man. So, but like, I don't know. Train games aren't really like that, man. So, it just depends on the game. So, I mean, that would be on my bucket list to actually design a decent train game. So, where you don't listen to the fucking fans. So, and you just build one. So, and say like, oh, well, this is how it actually works. If you don't like it, don't play it. So,
Well,
but anyway,
that's a dangerous strategy right there, because that's the big news in gaming here is every agency who's done exactly, they've basically taken the approach of this is the Concord thing, where it's turning out like they didn't spend $200 million, it was $400 million.
I know, yeah.
And the whole thing was like, if you don't like it, don't play it. Well,
they're going to blow themselves up with that kind of money. Yeah.
And that's the thing is that attitude of don't like it, don't play it. That's what I'm kind of hoping happens in like Cyberpunk 2 and stuff like that, where they say, well, actually, you know what? We do have to consider the people who are playing this game and remember
who's going
that.
to pay for it? Yeah.
Right. And that's my whole thing. That's where like the Dragon Age stuff, where I'm like, you know what? Stop doing this shit. There's a small... Go ahead and help them out with that small component, right? Make them feel that they still exist. But you got to remember the meat and potatoes of your audience.
Well, I don't know about that anymore, man. I mean, if they're making the game for kids who are in their 15, 16, 20-ish age range, that might be what they're asking for. I have no idea. So
they're not.
Well, no, and because that's like, even in my classes right now, nobody fucking plays games anymore, Jeff.
Well, there's no.
They don't. So
if they do, there's a certain type of game they play.
Well, yeah, it's on their phone.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but like I look at them the other day. Oh, I'm trying this, and I'm getting stares back. Like, what the fuck is that? It's like interesting. And I saw a thing the other day where they were doing this like testing. So, well, I didn't see this. This guy was talking about it, how they were doing testing for smaller audiences.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Well, for like younger audiences, there's a shitload of kids who don't even know what a controller is, Jeff.
Oh, so yeah,
it's just if it's not on my phone, it's not a fucking game. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, man. Well, I mean, it's the natural evolution of it. It makes kind of sense, but it's also like, yeah, so if you spend $400 million on a game, and the majority of your audience is going to be middle-aged dudes like me, yep. So you got a problem, because I got a mortgage payment I got to make, and I ain't going to pay for fucking 200 hours being scolded.
No, it's even if it's not like scolding, it's just like the thing is. This is my. I watched this video clip. I can't remember who posted this. I got a lot of traction on this stupid clip where this is from a real TV show. I didn't watch it, but basically like these firefighters are running into this. There's a call for smoke, right? And of course, half the firefighters, they're women, and they're like they run over there, and another like woman, she's a Native American, she pops up and she's like,
this is a TV show?
Yeah. Oh. And she's like, no, everything's okay. This smoke is part of a ceremony. You can't interrupt it. The city says it's okay. And the firefighters are like, well, if it's dangerous, we got to do our thing. And then this elder, Native American runs in. He's like, well, I was the one who called it in. And she's like, well, what's going on with this fire? It's like, it's not us. It's these people over here doing this gender reveal party. And I shit you not. This was a real fucking clip.
And that's got to be from one of those dumb shows, man. You get roasted on fucking YouTube all the time, man. So usually by actual firefighters.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that kills me is like, again, it's so who is your audience, right? That's the thing, is if you're going out of your way to say like, oh no, these and of course you go over there and it is these dumb redneck people.
Oh yeah.
Of course, it is these dumb redneck people, and of course these exasperated women or fighters are like, Jones, go put
The
that
fucking
out.
guys.
It's again, it's like, well, so who is your audience, right? Who is your, and that's the same thing with video games, where I'm like, you guys have got to understand, like, they've spoken back. You people that have taken over this part, it's
Well, they're not going to be able to hold it. So that's the whole thing. I mean, like, okay, so there's this little, like, the mystique that surrounds Hollywood and stuff like that. Okay, you know, when you like actually have, like, you know, bona fide cinematic productions and things like that, there's always going to be a piece of that.
Yes,
there is
yes.
no gaming Hollywood. Okay, so
as much as they want there to be.
there isn't. Okay, even though there's more money in it, gaming is fucking doomed for large studios. Large studio, like GTA 6 is the last big one of these that we're going to see. So that's my prediction. Okay, people will try other projects and stuff like that. We will never hit $1 billion game. Okay, because like right now the industry is shedding jobs like fucking crazy. And that's because AI, if there's anything out there, AI is not going to be your accountant. It's not going to be your fucking lawyer. It's not going to be your doctor. It might help your doctor, but it's not going to be your doctor. But it will generate a 3D engine for you and populate a world with things that you say for it to do. It will abso-fucking-lutely do that, which means, I'm sorry, CD Projekt Red, you guys are on the end stream of this now. You were there for the good times. But I'm telling you, guys like me are coming for you because as soon as I get those fucking tools. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, that's my retirement project some days, actually teaching myself how to do that shit. So that's my next hobby, man. So, and...
Yeah, AI will code the shit out of things.
AI will code the fuck out of that, and I'll be able to use natural language in order to be able to do it. So,
and it won't complain, and it won't sit there and say like they.
And it'll work a lot faster than you.
And they're not going to be any fucking like. AI is not going to like fucking whistleblow to the last journalist at IGN talking about, oh, they work me like 66 hours. I haven't seen my fit. I was like, well, like, yeah, okay, yeah,
that sucks. But
that's the job.
That's the job.
I know. I'm sorry.
And you know, and that's just, it's going to be a different game. And movies, it's going to happen with movies. It's already happening. So, but there's always going to be that thing is like, oh yeah, you know, like. So Warner Brothers, you say, you know, kind of thing, but it's not going to be. Like, you know, and I mean, so like until there's a better platform through which to do so, you know, which might be possible through something like Prime or something like that eventually, maybe even Netflix, where they do independent creators who can actually create AI generated movies that are really good. Maybe, okay, but they're going to cost a nickel. So, you know.
Well, that's low investment, high reward. I mean,
exactly.
That's the,
Yeah, exactly. And games are going to be the same way. Just like it, and we saw it happen with fucking music and Napster. Where do those guys make their money now? Tour.
They always have. That's the thing, is artists have always done that. The thing is, there was a middleman called the record companies,
and
right?
They got nuked. I'm sorry, CD Projekt Red is going to be your middleman. So, you know, and it's going to get nuked. So...
Well, I mean, that's the thing is all they will have at that point is basically they're going to have some creative direction, because it's not as though the teams will filter down to nothing, right?
No.
But it's basically like, okay, so who are the creative directors, right? Mm-hmm. With the IPs that you know.
Yep.
Right?
So they'll still have the IPs.
That's pretty much it.
Yep.
They'll be able to get work done faster.
Yeah.
Right? And the nice thing, here's the cool thing about this kind of stuff also, is it also makes it easier to get this stuff and have versions ready to test and put out in front of people and say, is this good? And you can take actual segments of your office, right? Mm-hmm. Or not your office, but your audience, and say, okay, is this good? It's like, yes, but like you said, I don't want to be preached to.
Right, yeah. So.
And if you get 5 out of 10 people saying this, or 6, or 7, then you get to turn to the fucking writer and say, take that out or you're fired.
Or you can say, AI, write me 2 versions of this game. So...
No, take that out or you're fired.
You have a different objective in mind here, sir. So, you want retribution. So,
all right.
I just want a good fucking game.
All right. I see that we have an understanding.
We have recent understanding. I guess that's a good place to end.
Yeah.
End podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
Hitting the button.
Yeah.